Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Economics. It is Shark Tank Week 2, so we have been working really hard this week and diving into what it means to be an entrepreneur, what it means to have an entrepreneur's mindset. I know it's been a lot of thinking and a lot of brainstorming and a lot of creativity this week, but if you're putting in that time and that effort now, the next couple weeks are going to be much easier when it comes to actually executing your plan and building out this business idea. So, what we're going to think about today is a little bit of a throwback. We're going to do a little throwback Thursday here, and we're going to do some supply and demand analysis in order to prove that your idea is something that customers want and something that is hopefully not already being done in the market. So, before we do that, just a quick review on supply and demand. A reminder that supply is referring to what producers are creating, building, making, and then, of course, supplying to consumers or our buyers in the marketplace. We did a lot of supply and demand analysis with our graphs, so I thought I'd throw that back in there for a little reminder for us. We see that supply curve moving up and to the right, and we remember that's because as our price increases, as goods become more expensive, suppliers want to make more of them. So as you're thinking through your project, you are now the supplier. You are creating that good, you are creating that service. Obviously, you're going to want to set the price really high, but we also need to remember that demand plays a role here too, because demand is referring to what consumers, those buyers, really want and then what they actually purchase. If we set our price for our good or our service in our Shark Tank pitch too high, we are not going to get people to actually purchase that good. So it's important that we keep price in mind. We're not going to do a whole lot with price yet, but it's something that's going to come in play. So I want you to kind of have it in the back of your mind. In order for you to do this supply and demand analysis, there are 3 questions that I really want you to focus on because we need to evaluate the existing supply, who is currently producing goods and services like our product, and then also what is our future demand? What might people in the future want, and are we meeting those wants? So there's 3 questions that I really want you to think about today. You see this on your assignment that is due on Friday. So I took a little clip of this piece of the assignment, and it's called opportunity questions because I think everything that we are doing this week around problems and solutions is connected to opportunities. So we want to evaluate that opportunity. Question number 1, is there a need in my community for this kind of business? There are a lot of really great ideas out there, but at the end of the day, an idea is not a business. So we need to be really critical of our ideas right now, early on, because if you answer no to this question, that doesn't mean you need to redo this whole assignment. That just means that I need you for next week to make sure you've tweaked your idea or maybe even jumped to something completely different so that you are addressing a need in your community. Now, that could be a serious need, right? Maybe you are thinking about your business idea as something that is addressing the lack of Wi-Fi that is existing for students in order to access the internet. Maybe your business is going to take old cars, or you're going to use and get a whole bunch of car lots involved in creating hotspots in neighborhoods using those vehicles. So maybe you're addressing a really big problem, or maybe you're addressing something really small. Like I talked about earlier this week, I'm annoyed with making my bed. So maybe there is some sort of app that I create that I get to reward myself every morning that I make my bed, right? Regardless of what my idea is, can I prove that people want this service? So for this first question, you might need to ask some people. Ask your friends, ask your neighbors, do some digging so that you can prove to me that there is a need. Don't just say yes or no, make sure you prove it. How can we know that people will buy your product or service? So you can't just for this one tell me, well, I know that people are going to buy the product or service because it's cool. If I am going to make people pay for something, they have to want it. There might be an incentive, maybe there's a serious need for it, maybe it is really cool, but then how how do you know that it's cool? Do you have feedback from some people? Do you know this from experience? Prove it to me. And your last question is, are other people already selling your product and are their businesses like yours? So if I start to do some digging and I see that there is already a company that is creating planting kits out of coffee mugs that are recycled, I might want to adjust my idea or change it around a little bit so that I'm more competitive, because I don't want my product to be exactly the same as someone else's. These people could be potential competitors. So it doesn't mean that you need an idea that's brand spanking new, but it needs to be a little bit different. It needs to be just unique enough so that your competitors don't have the exact same product you do. What you do want in thinking about these other businesses, you want to think about how you could use their ideas to maybe help you set a price for your product. How can you use their ideas to build a marketing strategy? How do they advertise right now? And then how could you follow their example in reaching customers? So what I should see on this section is a good analysis and some proof. I should see evidence here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little reminder on this slide while we're here. If I don't see proof or evidence in your explanations, you need to do more writing. I should be able to read through your responses and say, oh, now I understand why this product is going to work. Okay. This is the end of your assignment. So at this point, you should have all of the pieces for your assignment good to go and all set. So what you have on that Google Drive is your problem and solution assignment. It says it's due Friday. On Tuesday of this week, we walked through the first couple pages. Yesterday, we talked through your circular flow model, and today we talked about your opportunity questions and some examples and ways to think about that. So definitely get this taken care of so you don't have to worry about it. Tomorrow I will pop in to YouTube with a quick video on some reminders about what is due for this week in case you've forgotten. Otherwise, I will see you on Zoom later today, and please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions.